Gentlemen, welcome to the morning show. Today's date, January 16th, 2025. It is Thursday, and we got some good, interesting topics to cover today. Make sure you guys hit that like, hit that thumbs up, and of course, subscribe to the channel, click that bell, turn on your notifications so you don't miss the morning show. As far as streams go, we will be covering the divisional playoffs Saturday and Sunday, so make sure you guys lock it in. We also have the college football championship coming up. We will be streaming that as well, so make sure you guys are here for that. It's going to be a great time. I'm excited for it. I know you guys are excited for it. We're almost to the championships and the Super Bowl, y'all. It's getting a little crazy. So make sure you guys are here for that. Make sure you do subscribe. All right. Shout out to the Wrench Gang. Shout out to the family, all the listeners, all the watchers. I do appreciate each and every one of you. Shout out to you, Michelle. Good morning. Good morning. Marble Sky, what up? What up? Good to see you. Good to see you. This show is about faith, y'all. This show is about faith, as we'll dive into some of these topics here. But I want to start off by saying it was a really ridiculous night. I was fine, completely fine, the past few days, and yesterday evening I became violently ill. Like it was really bad. I'm not going to get into the specifics, but it was very, very bad. And I was up all night, hot, cold, running back and forth to the bathroom. You get the idea. It was very, very rough. Didn't get much sleep. And so, I figured, hey, it's just a stomach bug. I'll be all right. Up all night, hot, cold. It was rough. It was very rough. And so, that's why I named this story Faith. Sometimes we think, well, it's nothing too big. And I'll tell you this, last night I was praying. I ain't scared to say it. That's how bad it was. So tough night. I feel better now. I think it was a 24-hour thing. It's really, really wild sometimes how the body handles things, but it was bad. It was bad. So, but yeah, story's all about faith today. That's what the show's about as we get into it. First story as we get into the morning show. Ravens preparing for Buffalo's frigid temperatures in divisional round showdown with the Bills. Now, y'all know it's cold in Buffalo. It's been cold. It's been freezing. Absolutely ridiculous temperatures. In fact, we're looking at -3 over the next couple days. That's the actual temperature, so the feel like's probably going to be around -10. It's been pretty cold, but we love this, right? Football weather. We love the snow, right? We love the game. This is what football is all about. Cold weather. So as we get into this one, says Sunday's divisional round showdown between the Bills and Ravens has all the makings of a classic battle between two heavyweights. They might need to wear some extra layers for it too. Temperatures in Orchard Park, New York are projected to dip as low as 8 degrees Fahrenheit with a forecast high of 33 on Sunday. According to AccuWeather, with wind gusts up to 23 miles per hour, expected to make it feel closer to 0 degrees as the afternoon becomes night. Most everyone should brace for a frigid environment near the 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard kickoff time at Highmark Stadium. Now, if you've ever been to Highmark Stadium, Bill Stadium in Orchard Park, where it was kind of cold, you know that wind swirls, and it makes it 10 times worse because that wind swirls inside of Highmark Stadium. It makes things colder. It makes things more frigid. Obviously, if you're going to the game, you should already know this. You should already be prepared. But if you don't know this, make sure that you do bundle up because it is going to be freezing. We don't want any of y'all to have any frostbite or missing toes by the time it's over. It's not a joke. Being serious. Get yourself some hand warmers. Double up your socks. Throw on some long johns. Double up. It's going to be cold. It says Bills fans, of course, are no strangers to the cold weather, but the Arctic air rolling through the Midwest into the East Coast has already affected the Ravens' week of preparation, as Baltimore practiced indoors on Wednesday and will do the same on Thursday due to frozen practice fields. There's a big difference as far as the temperature because I'm out there. I can vouch for that. Ravens coach John Harbaugh said on Wednesday when asked about the differences between the temperature, near freezing, and both the current and projected conditions as well. As for the game itself, no, we've got it as cold as we can in here right now. It'll be colder in here tomorrow. when I've got the water shut off in here so the pipes don't freeze, so we can be colder. Would love to be outside for practice, but we just can't. Fields are too hard and too frozen, but we'll get to work on. Yeah. Teams prepare for this kind of thing. It's nothing new. This actually is for the fans, right? Just make sure that you understand how cold it's going to be if you're traveling from Baltimore, if you're in Buffalo, or if you're just, wherever you're at, you're flying into Buffalo, whatever. It's going to be cold. Make sure you're ready for it as we keep it going. Since we've had a lot of work in the cold, a lot of work in the wind, the elements are a part of it. The other thing is going to be the footing on their field. We're thinking about that too. We want to make sure we've got food footing on that field at Highmark Stadium. It's a turf field, and it'll be hard and frozen. Trying to think about all that, but really what we're thinking about is just executing our plays at the highest level we possibly can. So for me, I definitely think this changes things as far as the game plan on both sides. You're probably going to see more running. That field's going to be hard. It's going to be cold. That ball's going to be like a brick for sure. So I am interested to see as far as how this changes the game plan for both sides. We know the Bills are, used to playing in this. Baltimore used to playing in it as well for the most part. But we'll see how this affects the running game when it comes to James Cook and, Derrick Henry and Lamar. A lot to prepare for, right? Buffalo's that Highmark Stadium gets a little different when it's cold. So we'll see how it goes. Also, it's supposed to be cold for the Eagles game as well. Out in Philadelphia, snow is supposed to start there as well around the same time. So, yeah, it's going to be wild. It's going to be interesting. It's playoff football. Snow, cold weather. That's what we love to see. Just make sure that if you're going out there, take care of yourself, stay warm, and don't take it lightly. So there you go. Let me hop into the chat. Shout out to you, Sassy. I appreciate you. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate you guys. What is food footing? You know what? Let's look it up. What is food footing? Let's see here. Food footing refers to concrete footings for storing food or eating foods that support foot health. Food footing. A concrete footing material made of high density polyethylene fabric. It's a green alternative to lumber and plywood. Fast foot is used for residential and commercial strip footings, pad edging, and deep footings. Interesting. So there you go. Shout out to you, Tech 73. Good morning, man. Good morning to you. Shout out to you, Carl. What's up, man? Good morning. I mean, it's a real thing. Shout out to Sassy. She's like, all the food and feet. It's a weird combination. But there you go. Food footing sounds like a category. Yo, you guys. Starting off early. Speaking of food, I haven't eaten since yesterday, y'all. I gotta get something to eat in a little while after the show. But let's keep it going. Make sure you hit that like, hit that thumbs up as we keep it going. Yeah, like I said, stay warm. Stay safe out there. It's going to be cold. Make sure that you have all the essentials and enjoy yourself. We'll be streaming the game over here in the warmth, and it's going to be a good time. All right, let's get into the next one. Deion Sanders says there are NFL teams he won't allow Shedeur to play for next season. Coach Prime wouldn't list any specific teams, but resurfaced a previous notion. And you know what? I kind of, in a sense, agree with this, right? He knows the ins and outs. He knows how the NFL operates. He understands how coaching and management works. So if anybody is saying, hey, I wouldn't want my son to play on this team, or I wouldn't want my son to be a part of this organization, it would be Deion Sanders. But let's go ahead and get into this one. It says Deion Sanders reiterated his intention to influence Shedeur's NFL draft decision, speaking on the Tamron Hall show while promoting the new season of his Coach Prime documentary series. The head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes and father of star quarterback Shedeur Sanders boldly declared that there are a couple of teams who would not allow his son to play for. Although he did not disclose which teams he had in mind, Sanders emphasized his unique insight into professional football, stating that this is my profession. I know what's behind the curtain. And so right there, right, that tells you that he understands how things work. He understands the politics of football. He understands how teams operate and all that kind of stuff. So I think at the end of the day, he's looking out for his son. He's looking out for his legacy and saying, hey, there's teams that, I would agree with. There's teams that I wouldn't agree with. Now, we all know there's a lot of red tape that goes into this as well. You kind of don't really have any choice as far as where you get drafted. But I could definitely see where, conversations could be had, trade requests and things like that could be had. But we'll just have to see how that goes as we keep it going. Says the assertion mirrors previous comments Sanders made on the $1 million Worth of Game podcast, where he mentioned Shador could emulate Eli Manning's famous draft day stance in 2004. Manning refused to play for the San Diego Chargers after being drafted first overall, ultimately forcing a trade to the New York Giants. Sanders' remarks signal a protective approach to his son's career, shaped by his extensive experience in the NFL. Yeah, I mean, we know that Eli Manning made that happen, and then obviously went on to the Giants and, won 2 Super Bowls. So we'll have to see as far as how this goes, right? We know that the Titans are projected to pick him up, and there's also conversations as far as, potentially Deion Sanders coming over and coaching in the league. So we'll see how that plays out. He did say, he was very intrigued by the offer from Jerry Jones. There's some kind of talks and negotiations going on right now. We know that Mike McCarthy's out, so I'm not sure how that'll work, because we know that obviously Dak's over there with the Cowboys. So maybe there's a different kind of specific job that may be available for Deion Sanders on another team, and there may be some kind of finessing, right? Some little talks here and there. All right, Deion Sanders, head coach, is over here, is able to get Shador as a quarterback, and we'll just see. It's all speculation now. We'll see how it goes as we keep it going. Says when asked by Hall what would happen if Shador disregarded his advice, Sanders humorously deflected, saying, "You must mean NFL owners, not my son." The audience responded with laughter, underscoring Sanders' commanding personality. He doubled down on his reasoning, stated, "I'm not going to let my son go down in no foolishness." So shout out to Deion Sanders, right? Making sure that, his son is taken care of, making sure that his son isn't being put in a bad situation, making sure that his legacy has a good chance and a good opportunity to go out there and make a name for himself. Hey, listen, I think at the end of the day, when your father's Deion Sanders, he can say these kind of things. We get it. So I respect it. I think he wants to make sure that he's in the best possible situation. We'll see how it goes. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. Let me know what you guys think in the chat as we get to the chat with you guys. It says, when you have pickles instead of toes, if you have French fries, you don't even need vitamins. Well, Mark says, if he is smart, he will not let him on the Cowboys. I agree. Listen, there's too much of an issue as far as going on with Dak and all that money spent. So I don't see it happening. I don't see Deion going over to the Cowboys and then trying to pull for Shador over there. I mean, I could be wrong. It could happen, but I just don't see it happening. I think, he wants to be in a situation where if he's going to coach, his son's starting, and he's able to mold and develop a team that needs help. So we'll see. Shout out Sassy says he can give him good advice, but should let his son choose what he wants to do. And so, yeah, I mean, that's the other side of it, right? Is Deion Sanders trying to relive the experience through his son, or is he, allowing his son to make his own decisions while just giving him advice to make sure that he doesn't make bad decisions or get caught up in a situation that's going to be unfavorable for him? So, I think at the end of the day, I think it seems more like, Deion is looking out for his best interest. We'll see how it plays out, right? We'll see how it plays out. This is an ongoing story. We'll be talking about it, obviously, for months to come. But yeah, I think it's interesting. I really do. As far as the conversations for the coaching and with Shador being drafted, going to the NFL, I think it opens up a lot of doors for both sides. And I think at the end of the day, it's one of those things where we'll just have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. So Jamie says, could be an issue of ego getting in the way too. Well, we know that, Shador and definitely has some ego on his side for sure. But Deion had that too, so we're kind of seeing the history repeats itself thing, right? which is nothing wrong with it. I think, Deion has earned the right to have that chip on his shoulder and have a little bit of an ego. But Shador's definitely going to have to create his own lane. He's going to have to work his way into that, right? Prove himself on the field before, you can step onto the NFL and have that kind of ambition like your father has. So there you go. There you go. Shout out to the Angry Buffalo sports fans. What's going on with you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good morning. What are we at? Make sure you guys hit that like, hit that thumbs up as we keep it going on to the next show, or on to the next story in the morning show. As for Faith, right? That's the name of this morning show. It says how trusting the Lord led Notre Dame quarterback Riley Leonard to the national championship. Quarterback Riley Leonard's faith was key in the Orange Bowl win over Penn State, he said in his post-game interview. And we'll dive into this one. It says Notre Dame is headed to the college football playoff national championship after beating Penn State 27-24 in the Orange Bowl on Thursday. The outcome felt out of reach for much of the first half since Notre Dame's offense had a rough start to the game. Fighting Irish quarterback Riley Leonard threw an interception on Notre Dame's second possession, which resulted in Penn State kicking a field goal, the first points of the game. Penn State then built a 10-0 lead before Notre Dame kicking a field goal to end the second quarter, and Leonard went out of the game due to fear of concussion 3 plays into the final drive of the first half. But Leonard was able to return in the second half, and Notre Dame's offense got hot, scoring a touchdown in the opening drive of the third quarter and 2 more later in the game, in addition to snagging another interception. Now, if you watch this game, you knew this kind of looked like a bad situation for Notre Dame. It did not look like they were going to have, a good opportunity to come back and make this a game. But then the spark happened, right? It was that moment where things kind of just shifted in Notre Dame's favor as we keep it going. It says, but Leonard was able to return the second half, and Notre Dame's offense got hot, scoring a touchdown on the opening drive of the third quarter and 2 more later in the game, in addition to snagging another interception. He's a competitor, and competitors find a way to win, and that's what Riley does. That's what this team does, Coach Marcus Freeman said of Leonard after the game. With just 33 seconds left in the game and the score tied at 24-24, Notre Dame's Christian Gray came up with a game-changing interception. This game was definitely one of those, classical back-and-forth battles. Notre Dame looking like, it wasn't going to work out. It was going to be a bad time for them. And then, like I said, the spark happened. Riley Leonard put the team on his shoulders. He started running that ball, picking up the first downs, not taking no for an answer. And so when you have a quarterback like Riley Leonard who, puts all the chips on the table and says, you know what, I'm going to win. I'm going to go out here and do it. And I think that's where that change happened. That's when we started to see the confidence grow and that faith start to kick in for Riley. It says Riley Leonard's faith-filled post-game interview says what changed for Notre Dame in the second half. Was it the inspiring halftime speech from Freeman, who told his team that history is written by conquerors and we're holding the pen? Not according to Leonard. After the game, ESPN, after the quarterback, what changed offensively in the second half, asked the quarterback what changed offensively in the second half, and he put the spotlight on his faith. Says, shoot, I just trusted in the Lord. I looked up and said, Jesus, whatever you will is for my life. I trust it 100%. Complete respect for any young man that puts his Catholic faith first, like Riley Leonard. Let's get into it.
I said, Jesus, whatever your will is for my life, I trust it 100%. And I know that this offense and this team trust in Jesus and his plan for this season. As far as the question goes, I forgot the question, but we got to go in the second half. You took a big.
So, it's very good to hear this for multiple reasons, right? You never know the driving factor or the motivating factor for people when they step out on that field. And it doesn't just apply to the field, it applies to life too. You're trying to go get that job. You're trying to start a business. You're trying to get that promotion. You're trying to get ahead. You're trying to get your life back in order. All these things start from a point of having faith to do it. And so when you look at someone like Riley Leonard, this can be very inspirational for a lot of people, right? Sometimes we don't hear this. Sometimes the networks don't allow us to hear it. That's a whole nother topic for another day. But I am glad that, we've got quarterbacks like Riley Leonard, who's not scared to share the message, push it out there, and let people know that, hey, I believe in this, and it's my motivating factor. And this helped me go out there and get the win. So there you go. There you go. Shout out to Jamie, says, I can't help but think of Tim Tebow faced so much hate for speaking up about his faith. It seemed like everyone was critical of how vocal he was. Yeah, I remember that time, right? I remember there was a lot of discussion, a lot of conversation, and it's really sad because there's a lot of things and a lot of messages that are allowed to happen in the NFL, and then there's some messages that aren't allowed to happen in the NFL. And then there's some times where we know that things were said in post-game interviews, and when we see the replay later on, it was edited out. So, it's really unfortunate. We see what's going on. We know what's going on. We're paying attention to it all. I just think that if you're going to allow one set of messages to be out there, you have to allow the other set of messages as well. And then obviously, the players can figure it out and deal with the consequences later. But when we talk about something as strong as faith, I don't think nothing can hold it back. I don't care who tries to edit it out and all that kind of garbage. It doesn't matter. You can see the light, you can see the shine on certain individuals, and at the end of the day, that's the reality of it. That's the reality of it. So, shout out to you, Ernie T. Says, just getting over a chest cold. Feel better, my brother. Shout out to you, Ernie. I'm glad you feel better, man. It's been really rough for a lot of people over the last few months for sure. Sassy says, faith has been big in sports lately. Good to see. I agree 100%. DJ James says, I just had a guest show up and hand me a tiny cup of espresso. Lucky me. There you go. Shout out to the old lady holding it down. Let's go. Didn't they run an ad for Jesus during the last year's Super Bowl? I can't remember. Did they? I can't remember. It's quite possible. So then it would, okay, let's get into that one. So the NFL would be okay with allowing that to happen. Why? Because they're getting paid for that to happen. But then in the same instance, you ask yourself, well, why would an interview by CJ Shroud be cut off when he starts mentioning his faith for a different network? There's a lot that goes into that, and we'll be here talking for hours about it, but you get the point. You understand that, at the end of the day, people have certain motivating factors for what they do and what drives them. And I think, when you start to, look at that, you look deep down in yourself, right? You have to figure out what motivates you, what keeps you going every day, right? You wake up every morning, what keeps you going? What helps you get to the point that you need to, so you can be successful, so you can have fight, and so you can have drive. And I think, it starts with faith. If you don't have faith, then what are you doing? If you don't have the ability to believe in something that's greater than yourself, then what are you doing? I think people are scared to have these kind of conversations because of how society is now, and people like to shun these kind of conversations, and it's really sad because if other things are so blatantly highlighted and shown out in the world today, then we need to make sure that these things are as well. That's my point. Father Time, shout out to you, man. Good to see you. Says, what if a player started talking about his faith in a different religion? They shouldn't discriminate. They shouldn't. Faith is faith. Faith is faith. I don't think there's any kind of barring on faith. Now, you could break things down and get into the different situations with different people bringing up how their faith, is around this religion. I get it. I'm talking about just from the point of having faith in yourself. Now, if you want to tie that specifically into a religion, you can. If you want to tie that into the man upstairs, then you can. If you want to say that you have faith built on your confidence and your focus and the work that you put in, you can. But I don't think we should knock anybody's ability to come out and say this. And that's the reality of it. And I'll stand on that hill all day and all night. So there you go. Says fear is a thing. It only is if you allow it to be. It only is if you allow it to be. Jamie says they did, but the organization who funded that is one of those that holds some of the other philosophies that Jay was speaking of. I did some research. You want to go down a whole nother path. You guys get the point. You guys get the point. Faith is definitely a choice. I agree. All right, let's get to the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the next one. Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson's back in the news, and there's a lot of money involved. Before we get into this one, make sure you hit that like, hit that thumbs up, ladies and gentlemen. Bo Jackson gives up $21 million judgment in suit versus niece and nephew. Bo Jackson is giving up a $21 million judgment against his niece and nephew, who the former football and baseball star said harassed and tried to extort money from him. A judge in February ruled in Jackson's favor in the lawsuit he had filed in April 2023 against Thomas Lee Anderson and Erica M. Anderson, also known as Erica Anderson Ross. Jackson, who won the Heisman Trophy as Auburn running back and also played in the NFL and the MLB, had alleged in his lawsuit that his relatives tried to extort $20 million from him through harassment and intimidation. Let me stop here for a minute. You know, they say that money is the root of all evil. Money will have friends change up on you. Money will have family trying to take things from you, set you up, intimidate you, extort you. For $20 million, says in addition to the monetary award, last year's ruling included a permanent protective order barring his niece and nephew from bothering or contacting him and his immediate family. It also said that they must stay at least 500 yards from the Jacksons and remove social media posts about them. It says Cobb County Superior Court Judge Jason D. Marbut said in his February order that neither Jackson's niece and nephew nor their attorneys rebutted Jackson's claims or participated in the case after May 2023 hearing. When they consented to a temporary protective order, the judge found the Andersons to be in default, accepting as true all of Jackson's allegations. After that ruling was issued, a new lawyer of the Andersons filed a motion in March to set aside that judgment and to dismiss the lawsuit according to court filings. In a filing Tuesday, Jackson and the Andersons jointly asked the judge to throw out February's order, withdraw the Andersons' pending motions, and enter a consent judgment. Since in the meantime, the parties have conducted 2 mediations and have reached a private agreement resolving the dispute. Marbut on Wednesday issued an order vacating his February ruling at the request of Jackson and his niece and nephew. This is very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. The number is very specific, right? $20 million. The question is why? Why this amount? Why this amount of money? And it's really, like I said, it's really unfortunate because, when we hear it from time to time, we actually just heard the story from Baker Mayfield, right? His father and his brother had an investment firm and allegedly they took a lot of money from him. And then he ended up going to court and, trying to get that money back. It's just bad situations overall. And, when you have someone that, like Bo Jackson, who's built up a legacy as such he has and, has been wildly successful in his career, it comes with a lot of money. And so you're going to have, the vultures come out. You're going to have friends that you never talked to, family you haven't talked to in a long, long time, pop up out of nowhere and say, hey, we can do this, we can do that. I just need this and I just need that. And I could triple this and I can triple that. And it's really unfortunate because it leads to these kind of situations. And we see it time and time again. As we keep it going, says the consent judgment finds in Jackson's favor on several counts and dismisses others, awards no damages to Jackson or to his niece and nephew, and says the parties shall pay their own attorney's fees. It also says the Andersons must not harass or intimidate Jackson and his wife and children must stay 500 yards away from them, except in certain circumstances, including court appearances, sporting events, and family functions. The Andersons are also not to have any contact with Jackson and his wife and children. Jackson, 62, had alleged that the harassment began in 2022 and included threatening social media posts and messages and public allegations that put him in a false light. He also alleged that public disclosure of private information was intended to cause him severe emotional distress. With the help of an attorney, the Andersons demanded $20 million to stop. Jackson said he feared for his own safety and that of his family. This is disgusting stuff. This is absolutely disgusting. $20 million so that we stop putting dirt on your name. We supposed to be family. $20 million to stop putting dirt on your name. Absolutely insane. It's really unfortunate, but like I said, this ain't the first time we see it, and it's not the last time we'll see it. Not at all. Not at all. Philip, shout out to you, man. Says money is just money. The love of money is the root. For the love of money. Y'all remember that song? Make sure you guys hit that like, hit that thumbs up as we keep it going. Shout out to you all. I appreciate you. Appreciate you for rocking with us on the morning show. Today's topic is faith. It says, I throw my money to people I care for like candy tossed. Tyrone says, if I haven't seen you in 3 weeks, I don't know you. I remember you. Listen, if I ain't seen you in a few weeks, don't come asking me for no money. And don't be trying to put up no dirty posts about me either, because I'm just going to ignore it. I'm going to just ignore it. I ain't going to pay no attention to you. I'm going to just block you and move on. I'm going to block you and move on, and that's going to be it. It didn't bother him? No, it ain't bother me at all. I don't even see it. Peace out. DJ James says, I just gave my woman just about all the money in my bank. She said, don't you need some? I said, what's the point of having money while watching the people I care about struggle? Wow. Shout out to you, DJ Gene. That is profound, my friend. That is profound. Shout out to you, Sass. He says social media be cray-cray. I don't understand why people put everything of their lives on social media, like everything every day. Get a journal, people. Listen, we could talk about this one for a little bit. So I obviously focus on, the business side of things when it comes to social media. So I don't really post on social media. Right. I may do something just every once in a while to let people know that, I still exist on my personal social media. But I'm so focused on business and sports that I only post on social media if it's, for news, some memes maybe, but that's it. I'm not out here on social media sharing the vacations, telling y'all what I'm doing every 2 minutes. Oh, I'm at the store picking up these cookies. Aren't they amazing? For me, it's, I think once you grow up, you start realizing that you'd rather be living in the moment opposed to taking out the camera and recording everything, just to put it up on social media. A lot of people look at social media as, I guess, a means to show their friends and their family that they're better off than what they are. A lot of people look at social media as, let me show people what I'm doing so I can feel better about myself. Clout chasing, in a sense. It's very sad because, we know you can't afford that vacation in Bora Bora, but you out there and the rent's due. It's crazy. But like I said, it's just a wild thing, and it's really sad because, if your family is putting up posts, as the cat got hair in my mouth. Watch out. If your family's out there putting up posts of you in a negative light, it's a sad thing, and it's especially sad to be extorted by them. I'm sure at some point, well, I would assume, I'm assuming here that, Bo Jackson may have helped them at some point, right? And those are the worst kinds. Those are the worst kind of individuals. And they'll do you the most dirty, right? Hey, they show up out of nowhere. You feel bad because of your family. You give them 5 racks. you give me a few thousand. Hopefully they can, work that out. And then next thing you know, they come back and they ask you for more, right? What you gave them wasn't enough. And then it turns into, well, I know you got it. Why can't you give it to me? And then, as time goes on, you got to say no. And I feel like that's where Bo Jackson was. He's like, nah, I can't do it no more. I can't do it. And then they felt, they needed to go on social media and try and, put dirt on this man's name and extort him for money. Like I said, it's sad. It's really unfortunate. You hate to see it. But good thing for, good job by Bo Jackson and his attorneys by getting this thing, settled and fixed. That way, it is what it is. And they get to move on with their lives. So there you go. Let me hop in the chat. Shout out to you, Jamie. So thankful for my J Reason family. Chemo tomorrow, and I need this community. Shout out to you, Jamie. I hope everything goes well for you. 100%. Keep me updated. Father Time says it's okay if I'm blocked. I'm used to it. What? Who been blocking you, Father Time? Who been blocking you? All right, y'all. Make sure you keep hitting that thumbs up as we keep it going. Shout out to you, Michael. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for the love and support. All right, next up. We need to get into this one, y'all. Okay, Deshaun Watson, right? We know all the issues and the problems that Deshaun Watson has had since his transition over from the Texans to the Browns. And so now I think that these Browns are trying to get some money back out of this guy, and rightfully so, right? Y'all know I don't hate on anybody getting the bag, but we need to see people actually having that performance out on the field for that bag. But let's get into this one. It says Deshaun Watson's viral TikTok video could cost him $92 million if the Cleveland Browns bring the hammer. Let's get into it. It says Deshaun Watson is owed a guaranteed $92 million from the Cleveland Browns over the next 2 NFL seasons. However, a TikTok video from the day after Christmas could potentially cost him his entire remaining salary. Where was his walking boot? Watson, 29, tore his Achilles tendon at the end of October. He recently retore the same Achilles tendon. Just 3 months into his recovery, it was another full rupture caused by a rolled ankle. The Cleveland Browns will likely recoup a large chunk of his massive salary, regardless of how things played out in the coming days, weeks, and months because of an insurance policy. However, the team may be able to void its quarterback's entire contract because of a video posted to social media on December 26th. Watson pulled over on the side of the road to dance with his girlfriend, Jilly Anais, while on vacation. If you look closely at his feet, you will notice a lack of walking boot. He was wearing normal sneakers. And let's play the video. Social media. Look at him having a good old time. No boot. They out there dancing behind. What is that? Is that a Rolls Royce? Is it Cullinan? So there you go. Listen, you see the video is short. The video is short. It was like 5 seconds. Let me see the time here again. How long is this video? They ain't showing the time. Look, about 5-6 seconds of you doing this on social media about to cost you $92 million. Like I said, y'all keep playing this game with social media. 5 seconds of acting a fool on social media about to cost you $92 million? Couldn't be me. Let's keep it going. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. Says this could be Cleveland's way out. Retear rate is very low for a ruptured Achilles tendon. When treated properly in recovery, patients are typically relegated to a walking boot for at least 3 months. It's very hard to roll an ankle or tweak a pre-existing injury if it is secured by a brace. Deshaun Watson posted a TikTok video without a walking boot just 62 days after his Achilles first popped. That is well inside the 3-month mark. The Browns said that their quarterback retore his Achilles because he rolled his ankle in Miami. Given the difficulty of rolling an ankle while wearing a walking boot, it is possible he did not have one on. He was not wearing one in the video from December 26th, so there is probable cause. Listen, we talk a lot about, bad situations and people blowing the bag. Sam Darnold costing himself millions of dollars by his performance. Now we look at Deshaun Watson. You wanted to dance on TikTok for 5 seconds and show the world for 5 seconds that you was dancing with your girl. And now that's going to cost you $92 million. Y'all want to talk about crashing out? This may be one of the worst situations ever. The worst. Listen, you have an injury. Nobody cares if you vacationing. Go vacation, but keep the damn boot on. Listen, if I got $92 million at stake, I'm keeping the boot on, babe. We're going to make this video. And guess what? I want them to see the boot on. You could do the dancing. I'll just stand here and move my shoulders and, do that. I'll just, move my shoulders a little bit while you dance, while I got this boot on. And let's make sure that they see the boot in the video. You rolled your ankle down in Miami. That means you was obviously having a good old time. And you weren't paying any kind of attention as far as the stipulations when it came to your contract and the insurance policy. So from a business point, we talk a lot about these players and understanding how to manage their money and doing things off the field. This is a way for now Cleveland Browns to get you up out of there, and it's at your own expense. We have to become smarter. My goodness. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Let me hop into the chat. Hop into the chat. Shout out to the Deshaun Watson, y'all. We got to do it one time for him. I'm floating on the dance floor tonight. All right, we ain't gonna do him like that. No, this is a big problem, and it's really sad. I think some of us definitely wanted to see, Deshaun Watson be successful with the Browns and get this franchise in order. We'll have to see how this plays out, right? We don't know if the Browns are serious about it or if it's kind of like a wake-up call for him. But I will say this. I think at the end of the day, Deshaun, you need to be a little smarter. You need to talk to your agent, get your lawyer on the phone, go through your contract, go through the insurance policy, and get things back in order. Because I'll tell you this right now, I'd want to be spotted in that boot moving forward. I'll tell you that. His journey has been messy from the get-go, 100%. The biggest heist since Hainsworth. Like, oh, you gonna give us the opportunity to get $92 million back? Yeah, we coming for it. We was fools to give you the money. You haven't shown up on the field, and now you're gonna give us the opportunity to get $92 million back from you? Yeah, we gonna make you come up off that. We gonna make you come up off that, buddy. A lot of times, says good players aren't idiots. It's crazy. Says they have X-ray vision now. I mean, I'm not defending him, but still. We'll go back to it, right? We'll go back to it. I mean, if I'm looking here, I don't think I can see a boot under them jeans. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think he even stepping like he got a boot on, to be honest. I don't know. We'll just have to see how it plays out, y'all. Because like I said, if it's me, I got my jeans rolled up on top of the boot. I don't care about fashion that much when there's $92 million involved. When I got guaranteed money on the way. Let me go ahead and pull up these jeans over this boot so y'all can see it while I'm on vacation. I don't want no discrepancies. I don't want any kind of situation where you can sit there and say, oh, I don't got this boot on after what happened. I'm trying to get this injury healed so I can show up next season and be ready to go. You see the boot? You see it? It's right there. Unfortunately for him, rolled his ankle in Miami. Now you're dancing with your girl on TikTok. And if we know anything about these teams, they got some good lawyers, and they'll find a way to get that money back. So there you go. OJ was a good player. He made some dumb decisions. we not going to do OJ now. We not going to go that route. Shout out to you, Gay Smasher. Good morning. This is chipping ice off my coffee here in Bills Mafia country, Cedar Key, Florida. Hey, I heard it's cold down there. I heard it's been cold in Florida. Shout out to you. I heard it's been cold down there. Sam Darnold to the Browns. You know, once we get into the conversation for the Vikings and all that good stuff, I can see if they would decide to keep him, right? Because there was a lot of conversations in regards to Darnold having a MVP caliber season. So I could get if the Vikings do decide to give him another shot. Now, when it comes to the money, though, that's a whole nother topic, because this man was up for, $200 million kind of contract. And so at this point, you don't give him that kind of money because of what happened with the Lions and what happened with the Rams. And there's so many people now. It wasn't all on Sam Darnold. Listen, the reality is this: when you step out on that field, you're expected to go out there and win. All the excuses now on the offensive line, all the excuses now in the coaching. Oh, it's O'Connell's fault. It's the O-line fault. It wasn't their fault when you were winning, but now it's their fault when you're losing. Make it make sense. Oh, well, he didn't change up the game plan, going into this one, and that's why they lost, because the Rams took the playbook from the Lions. Who wouldn't have taken the playbook? Because we know if you shut down Justin Jefferson, it's going to force Sam Darnold to have to figure it out. And if it's not there, he's going to hold on to the ball too long. It didn't take a rocket scientist to know that. But it ain't his fault. Sam Darnold needed to get rid of the ball. I don't care if you get incompletions. Don't take the sack. We'd rather see incompletions than you take the sack. At least the ball had a chance of being caught by somebody. But by you holding that ball and taking 9 sacks, we're supposed to put it on somebody else? Come on now. DJ Jean says 54 right now in Tampa. Yeah, that's cold. Shout out to you, Sassy. I appreciate you. Says it's why airlines losing money these days, not OJ running through the airports. You guys are crazy. Yeah. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, shout out to you, Sassy. So there you go. Deshaun Watson, I don't know. Like I said, for me, I think the situation is, he needs to take care of he needs to definitely take care of what he's promoting online, and he needs to understand what's in his contract and what to do and what not to do, so he doesn't put himself in the situation to lose a ton of money. That's generational money that he could potentially lose. As much as we have the expectations for him to go out there and win, you look at somebody who once had the talent and the heart and the drive to go out there and be great. We've kind of seen that, take a turn for the worst. And we'll just have to see how it turns out. We'll have to see how it turns out, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so last but not least, was this Monday, Tuesday? Hold on, let me get the date right. Monday, there we go. Monday the 20th, y'all. We got ourselves a game. The college football championship, Ohio State Buckeyes versus your Notre Dame Fighting Irish. For me, this one is going to be a tale of the heart, a tale of faith, a tale of ambition and focus. This is going to be one hell of a game, y'all. One hell of a game. Let's get into it. As far as the spread goes, you've got the Buckeyes favored by 8. The over-under is 45.5. The money line is minus 380 and plus 290 for Notre Dame. As far as the matchup predictor, 55.4% for the Buckeyes, 44.6% for the Fighting Irish. As far as your season leader passing yards, you've got Howard, 292 of 402, 3,700 yards. Leonard, 247 of 372, 2,600 yards, 19 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 33 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions for Howard. On the rushing side of things, Henderson, absolutely balling last game. And then, of course, score was, 132 carries, 967 yards, 10 touchdowns. Absolutely did a great job against Texas, without a doubt. On the flip side, you've got Love, 159 carries, 1,122 yards, and 17 touchdowns. On the receiving side of things, Smith, 71 receptions, 1,200 yards, 14 touchdowns, and, of course, Greathouse, 36 receptions, 464 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So there you go, right? Great offenses on both sides. I think the defense does lean a little bit more to the Buckeyes. We've seen as far as what they were able to do against Texas. Scores 28-14. They mollywopped Oregon 41-21. A lot of people were upset about that one as well. And then, of course, the game against Tennessee, 42-17. Getting us to Notre Dame, right? The close victory, the field goal victory against the Penn State Nittany Lions, 27-24. They beat Georgia 23-10. And then, of course, IU there at 27-17. So, coming into this one, I think you definitely don't want to put Leonard in the situation to where he's got to, run a lot once again. We will see it. I'm sure we will to a certain degree. But I think he's going to have to find a way to really try to, go through his progressions, really, really get that offense going, and then utilize the run when needed to kind of mix it up. This, Buckeyes defense has been very good against the run. So we'll have to see how that, that goes into this championship. And on the flip side, Howard, I think for him, it's, going to be a situation as far as, playing your football, right? Playing your game, sticking to the game plan, not holding the ball too long, moving it around, mixing it up. Henderson, for me, I think he's been great. I think he's going to be, probably the X factor coming into this one as well for the Buckeyes. Get that run going, get it going strong, get it going early. And, I think for the Buckeyes having the advantage in this one, I do think it's going to be one of those back and forth battles. And it's very easy to say Buckeyes, but we got a lot of ambition, a lot of heart, a lot of faith over there with those Fighting Irish. I like this one. And as much as I want to go Buckeyes, I'm gonna go against the grain here. I'm going to go against the grain in this championship, and I'm going to go with the underdog. I'm going to go with these Fighting Irish. I'm going to take them by a field goal. I think it's going to be a good one, a good battle back and forth. I think it'll, come down to a good solid play at the end of the game, just like it did against the Lions there. And Notre Dame may repeat a situation where they win it by a field goal, and Freeman will leave out on a legendary night against the Buckeyes. So there you go. So they'll have to throw deep on the line. Big Ten owns the line. We'll see. January 20th, everything will change. Playoffs will tighten up. I agree. Tactical, what up, man? The Natty should be very good. Very good. Good morning to you. I'm excited for it. We'll be streaming it on Monday. And I'm ready. It's going to be a good time. We'll be streaming it. So make sure you guys lock it in for sure. My cousin is saying Rudy should be a good game either way. Good old Rudy. Yeah. Like I said, I'm excited for it. We always have fun, during the bowl games and the championship. Championship especially because everybody shows up. We get some real wild people in the chat during the championship games. They're always a good time. They're always fun. We always have a huge crowd. So make sure you guys are here for it. It's going to be fun for sure. Shout out to you, Tyrone. Always. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. The morning show. It is Thursday morning time. So good morning to all of you who are still waking up, getting ready to get going. And also Good morning to those heading over to lunch. As for me, I'm gonna get some lunch. I'm hungry. I'm starving. Haven't eaten since yesterday. So there you go. But shout out to you guys. Shout out to the Rinse Gang. Shout out to the family, all the listeners, all the watchers. I do appreciate each and every one of you. I'll be back, ready to go. Hopefully tomorrow, I'll be over whatever was going on fully. Like I said, I feel better. I feel good. But yesterday it was really, really wild. I don't know what was going on. Maybe some kind of bug for 24 hours. But yeah. So shout out to you guys. All right. I'm going to go and get some solid food, and I'll see y'all in the next one. We'll get the predictions up for you yesterday. If you guys didn't catch it, I'm going to upload those clips. You'll see those throughout the day, as well as the stories from today. If you didn't catch the whole show, I do appreciate you all, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day.